And we're live in the Corona kitchen.
Hello!
Wow, we made it! The chicken's so happy we're not cooking chicken.
We're doing the other white meat work.
Well, the other meat is fine with the chicken.
The chicken's good with that. Right?
Hi.
Hello!
How are you?
I'm good. It was one of those days of just running, and I made it. So I'm very happy to be here with you.
Get around the corner. Oh my God, I'm just so tired of the fires.
It's so smoky. It's really raspy on the whole respiratory system and scary. Quite frankly, very scary.
Quite frankly, very scary. Yes. And this, we always hate to bring it around to this, but I'm going to anyway. This is why we vote, people.
I know where you're going.
We are in serious climate change right now. And if we keep ignoring it, we're going to set our whole freaking planet on fire. And it looks like New Mexico's going up first.
See, there are movies and books and scientists and all kinds of stuff that have been writing about this for a really long time. It's not made up. It's like, and
it is everywhere around us now. Every couple hours, there's a new fire.
And it's 0% containment here. So that's what makes it really frightening. I know there are a lot of people out there who are, their houses are threatened, their lives are threatened. Yeah. If you're thinking about staying, evacuate. You got to evacuate and
really
save yourself.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, so there's that. And then, just before I got on with you, I was listening to the news, and they are bent for, what do you say, hell bent for leather? Whatever that phrase is, to end abortion. They're coming for abortion, people. We are not going to have our bodily autonomy, because if you think it stops at abortion, just like Russia's not stopping at Ukraine if we don't stop them, they're coming for birth control too.
All I can say is, if you came for a good doom scroll and some cooking, you came to the right place.
Thank you.
Because we're ready to kind of bitch right now because we haven't seen you in a while, and
yes,
it's literally going up in flames and figuratively in this country.
Well, last week we had the talk show, which was super fun with Candace New.
So fun. And if you're out there, Candace, thank you
again. Thank you, Candace. That was super fun.
We'll post the whole show. I think it goes on YouTube this weekend. There's another live showing taping this weekend, and then it also will eventually go on YouTube. We'll let you know so you can see it.
We'll keep you apprised.
It was a really nice, fun chat. It was a great chat.
Yeah. So, and we're both busy with work stuff, so that's good. I mean, there are things changing. I was so happy I got to do a writing workshop, like a retreat all weekend.
How did that go?
It was what a gift. I mean, so long not being in person with people, and just to be in a group of writers and just kind of holed up in this beautiful home up in the hills. So we were above the smoke, but we could see the smoke coming down the canyon. It was intense. Wow. But we had a great weekend, and I want to just thank Anne Randolph and for coming and doing that. It was super great. Super great.
Awesome. I'm really glad you got to do that.
Yeah. And I'm going to be in a little show for the theater walk. So that's going to be in Santa Fe. So I'm in rehearsal for that.
Tell everybody what the theater walk is if they don't know what it is.
Oh, it's such a great little event here that all the theater companies get together, and somewhere in town.
It's usually near Meow Wolf.
It usually is, but it's not this year. It's at the Santa Fe Outlet Mall. And all the theater companies get together and put on like a 10-minute show or something like that. And so I'm doing a little show, and every half hour there's a new show. So you could be walking around and seeing all the different performers, and it's really fun. It's a really fun community event.
You feel good. So good for you to flex.
Yes.
the muscle.
Oh yeah, so that'll be a fun event. That's on Saturday the 21st. But excuse me. It's at the same time as the inaugural Santa Fe Literary Festival. So I won't be able to go to that, but I was so hoping to go. Margaret Atwood is going to be at it. Don Winslow, John Grisham, all these fabulous writers.
Hitters.
Yeah. So next year, and a lot of people with cookbooks. So I'm thinking next year, maybe you and I'll be there.
That would be so great. Yeah, it's really kind of hitting us right now. We're cookbook authors. We're so close to the final approval of the cover, which, believe it or not, takes a while because
there's so many little things you have to consider.
Many little details, but it's fun when you see the cover and you're like, "Whoa, this!"
Oh my God, it has our names on it.
Names on it.
Oh my God. I have no idea how I thought of Sloppy Joes, and that is not a segue, but I don't know how. And I can't believe that all this time we haven't done it.
It's, there are a handful of things we haven't done. 3,000 episodes.
3 dishes we haven't made.
I remember my earliest memory of Sloppy Joes is so 70s, and I just remember my mom was like, "Oh, we're making Sloppy Joes." I was like, "Yay, yum!" And like a soft, kind of sweet bun with the yummy, like almost sweet bolognese kind of.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it a little different, as you know I do.
What's the Debrianna twist?
All right. Well, a couple of different things. We'll start. I have this beautiful orange pepper. I'm going to use, it's gigantic, so I think I'm only going to use about half.
It's a pumpkin. I didn't even know what that was.
It's a giant pepper. But I'm only going to use half of it because it's so big. So,
pepper in the Sloppy Joes, don't you?
Yeah, pepper in the Sloppy Joes is like, it is the quintessential thing.
Okay.
I mean, pepper and onion. But so I'm gonna and usually they use green pepper. That's typical. But I don't like green peppers, or they don't like me. I guess you could say that. So I like orange or yellow or red.
I like the color of the orange pepper too.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, I can actually. I have to say I can eat the green pepper when it's cooked. But I can't eat it raw. So I just actually stay away from it altogether. And I don't know why I have no trouble with red or orange, or yellow. They're fine, and they just don't seem to have that harsh edge.
You know what? You do you. It's okay. You never eat a green pepper. It's okay.
Thank you. All right, so I chopped those up. Okay, I didn't chop the onion because I wanted to remind you guys, we did this all last summer. See this end? This is where the little roots are.
Yes.
If you have that on an onion, you can cut the end off and stick it in some water and it will grow.
I have never in my life sprouted so many green onions. I have them everywhere. And you know what's crazy? You want to talk about global warming? Yeah. I mean, normally we have 4 seasons here and we get freezing temperatures throughout the winter. We get snow, everything. And nothing survives if it's an annual. And
my onions did.
My green peppers, I mean, they all came back. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Onions, scallions, nothing died back. It was so weird.
I kept my tomatoes indoors, for God's sake.
No, they just won't go away
again, but I don't know.
Well, tomatoes are actually a tropical kind of weed. So So anyway, this is a Vidalia onion, so it's a little sweet, and I'm just going to chop that up small too. I already did 3 cloves of garlic. That's already chopped.
Kelly's saying cheers, and I think someone's asking, is that pepper from your garden? And I would have to say, no, I don't think so, right?
No, not yet. I do have pepper starts, but I didn't get it from my garden. I won't get peppers now until the end, kind of the end of the summer.
Yeah, end of season.
But I am planting them. I put potatoes and the peppers started. I put in purple fingerlings and little Yukon Golds today.
Wow.
And garlic I planted and beans. So I have a start.
You know what I did? I never do this, but I bought some, what is it called? That special soil that helps you do the seeding.
Potting, like a seeding soil?
So I had all my pots still outside in the backyard, and I put a layer of that, and I got these amazing seeds when I was in Northern California last summer of just like cosmos and bachelor buttons and wildflowers, and I just put them in all my things, and they're growing. They're just growing.
Yay! Oh, it's so fun. My chamomile's coming up, and I'm very excited. I love gardening.
My time in the mint is already going to town. Yay!
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. This is kind of what makes this sloppy Joe and not like a bolognese.
Why is it a sloppy Joe and not a sloppy Jane?
Hey, I'd rather it be sloppy Jane.
Making sloppy Jane.
Okay, maybe we'll call my version sloppy Jane.
Sloppy Jane.
Okay, so this is about a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar.
Ah, that's it.
I am not going to use, like, typically people will use just a jarred tomato sauce, which you could do, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use regular old diced tomatoes.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to make the secret sauce. So that's a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of dried mustard, and a half a teaspoon of ground fennel.
Ooh.
That's my story.
Somebody said sloppy Jolene. We have the Dolly Parton soundtrack to that.
That's it. I'm loving that.
I have Jolene. You're so sloppy.
Very sloppy. This is a slop. Now it's going to get sloppier because I just added wine. Most of the time people will add water, but this is up leveling a little bit.
Total next level, Debrianna. This is going to be, you could put this on pasta.
Yes, you could put it on pasta. I would have said that too. Like, you could put it on pasta. So I'm adding a half a teaspoon of salt to that little bit and some pepper. And if you had water and you didn't have wine around, you could turn water into wine, can't you?
Of course you can.
All right, so Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, that is such a key element. I mean, I try to put that in.
Oh, and this is such a good one. Oh my gosh, look at that. Malt amber lager Worcestershire sauce.
Ooh, where did you get that?
I think I got it at Whole Foods before Whole Foods went and turned into that pit that it is now.
Or as my kids say, don't give money to Jeff, Mom.
Oh,
don't go to Jeff.
I keep trying. I keep thinking you need to, but go over there. But they're terrible.
It's not the same specialty stuff anymore.
No, so I don't even know if they have that anymore. Okay, so that's a teaspoon of this organic spicy brown mustard.
Okay, someone's saying wine. It's been a long time since we've seen an episode with alcoholic beverage. Right? It has.
Okay.
Maybe I should do a cocktail next week.
I know.
On a Monday.
I think everyone's getting antsy for a cocktail.
On a Monday night.
I have to say, I remade my my apple bourbon for my husband because he loves it. So Kelly's coming to visit me next week.
Nice.
She will be the recipient of the new apple bourbon.
Okay, well, Kelly, if you're on Sunday, Monday night, you'll see. You know what I have? Interject. You tell me first, and I'll tell you the little story.
Okay, so this is a little bit, like 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Little bit.
Now, usually when people make sloppy joes, this is the other thing. They put the beef in there first, and then they add the onion and the pepper in there at the same time. I cannot get my head wrapped around that.
I know. I'm feeling you. I know what you're gonna say. It makes sense.
It doesn't. Yeah, they can't. You can't cook these to get like a little caramelization on them.
Exactly.
Because the meat is in there. So no.
It's just wrong.
It's definitely wrong. So the other thing I did was a little tiny hot red pepper. That's a Fresno.
Like what kind of red pepper?
It's a Fresno.
A Fresno, okay.
Yeah. So it's not super, super hot, but you could do hot if you want, super hot. I just, we all like that kick. You could also just add some chipotle, ground chipotle powder or red chili.
Give it a little smokiness.
Yeah, give it a little kick.
Although we don't need smoky right now.
I gotta show you. No smoky. I took this grinder thing from Trader Joe's that had salt in it.
Yeah.
And I put my fennel seeds in it. And that's how I do my fennel. I grind it like that.
You're like Miss MacGyver in the kitchen. I don't know anybody else who does these things. You figure this stuff out.
Like, I need that. Don't throw that out.
You're like, I can use that for my fennel seeds.
Yes, I need that. Well, they're always better if you crush them a little bit.
Yeah,
it's totally easier to do it in that thing.
I put them in my mortar and pestle.
Yeah, that works.
That works,
but
right?
Next time you get that Himalayan salt in that
know
jar,
what? I'm gonna keep it. I won't recycle it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna cook these for a little bit.
That's pretty.
Yeah, isn't it? That should probably take, and I'm gonna throw the red one in there too. Just take a little while, and then and a lot of people will cheat, and it's totally fine to do this. I'm just not gonna. They use. I'm just not doing it that way. They'll use ketchup. I'm not using ketchup. I'm going to use my diced tomatoes. This is a small can.
Wow.
And
I love that mochi brand. That's so good. That's so good.
I have to say, I love tomato paste this way in the tube.
It kind of makes sense. You can get it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, totally. And so I'm going to let these cook for a little bit. And then I'm going to tell you, instead of doing all ground beef, I'm cutting it in half ground beef and half ground pork.
You are doing the total, what's his name, who used to have, Mario Batali. You're doing the total Mario Batali of Sloppy Joe, is what you're doing.
Yeah, baby. Okay, so ground pork, ground beef.
That's going to be so good. Oh my God.
Well, it's definitely going to be a little different.
Well, when I think back, I just have like memories of babysitters making sloppy joes too, and totally taking the Heinz bottle and just like making that be the base, is the the corn syrup ketchup.
Yeah, right. And the other thing people will do is use that mix. There's a sloppy Joe mix. I don't even know what's in that.
There's no reason to do that.
No, you don't have to.
You don't have to do that.
No, so these are chopped. I also had finely chopped, but I don't mind just chop. Just chop. So I'm letting these get, a little cooked down, translucent. And it looks pretty, doesn't it?
It's so pretty. It's going to be really chunky and nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. Was it for it to be a little chunky?
It's going to be yummy.
Now, I always add the garlic a little later, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste in here in just a sec. Here, I'm going to squeeze it out. Yeah, so you can see about a tablespoon.
My stomach is growling just looking.
Well, yeah, I think it should be. There, you can almost start to hear it when they're sizzling.
Yes.
And I just want a couple of onions to get just like a little crisp on them.
Because
So
if you don't,
Kelly's going to be here in a few days. I guess I have to savor a little.
you could freeze it, I'm sure. You know, if you don't do it this way with onions and peppers first, they're going to stay uncooked if you added the meat first, and it's just not going to be pleasing.
They just don't. Everything steams. That's kind of what happens.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I just couldn't bear it.
Stop! I can't bear it.
I just can't do it. So I got a nice ground organic ground beef. This is 85% lean.
Okay.
Like it matters since I'm adding pork, but whatever.
Well, so how much meat are you going to put in there?
A pound.
Okay.
A pound total. So I'm going to use
half and half.
Yeah, half a package and half a package. And then I'm going to, while these are done, I'm going to add my tomato paste in. And let that cook for a little bit. This is sort of like meatball and sauce 101.
You know, I was going to say, like when I said it was Mario Batali, I mean, I'm just remembering the best meatballs I ever had at a restaurant, and all the components that you're using are what he did.
So I'm just cooking the tomato paste a little bit, and then I'm going to add the 3 cloves of garlic.
Mm.
Those cook, you don't want these to get burned.
Yeah, garlic is always later.
Yeah, just add them in now. Now you can see there's like that little caramelization happening on the bottom of the pan.
You did it.
That's what you want, people.
That's what you want to see.
And now I'm going to add the meat. Half a package of each one.
Okay. Ground pork and ground beef.
Ground pork, ground beef. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Something about the combo of that is so delicious. It's better than all beef. It just is.
Yeah. So I'm going to break it up with my spatula and try to let it, kind of cook a little bit. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way because you're going to add the sauce that we just made and the tomatoes, and it can cook the rest of the way. So if you use a jar of sauce, you don't need to let it simmer as long, because the sauce is already simmered. But because I'm using a can, I'm going to let it go maybe 30 minutes instead of 15. But, if everybody's hungry, just serve it. So, it's getting all that nice brown on the bottom of the pan. And then we'll pick that up, all that goodies, all that caramelization of the meat and the vegetables. I'm going to pick it up when I add the sauce in and the tomatoes. So that's a lot of flavor in that bottom of the pan.
And if you had done the meat first, you wouldn't have it.
You wouldn't have it.
It's that simple.
Yeah, so this isn't really going to take any longer than if you did it with, the cheaty way. And this is going to taste so much better.
It's going to be so tasty. What kind of bread are you putting? Are you putting it on bread or what are you?
Oh, wait till you see that.
Okay. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for bread.
This is just about cooked now, so I'm going to add in my secret sauce that we just made with this, brown sugar and all that.
Oh my God, look how good that looks. Wow.
And then the can of tomatoes.
Mm.
And I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Oh yeah, it's Sloppy Joe. And then you're going to want to get your spatula, your Sloppy Janing. And then you get your kind of spatula in there and make sure you pick up all the brown bits on the bottom, stir them into the sauce. Yeah.
Somebody said sloppier Jolene.
Okay, so then you're just going to want to let this simmer for, I would say, at least 15 minutes, but I'm going to give it a half an hour.
Do you put salt in it? Do you put salt in? Salt?
I did put salt in. I don't know, maybe you missed that, but yes, I did. About a half a teaspoon.
Okay.
And I will taste it again and make sure that's enough, because it might not be.
Yeah. Okay.
But look what I'm going to serve it on. Pretzel rolls.
What? Where did you get those?
At that crazy place, Whole Foods.
So they're like soft pretzels?
They're like soft pretzel rolls.
That is going to be insane. David, you lucky.
Dang, people.
Called Pretzilla.
They're called Pretzilla. Look at this.
Oh my God, I want to try. Those look delicious.
Yeah. Wow. So the thing about Sloppy Joe's is, because you're putting it on a bun, you want a bun that's kind of tough. Like, you don't want to use a brioche bun because it's going to melt. So you really got to, get a bun that's got some, heft to it that won't faint underneath the sauce.
That's going to taste so good. I didn't even know what a pretzel bun. What is that? I've never even seen that.
Oh, it's so good. They're like soft pretzels.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
I will.
So you can toast them or not. It's up to you. You can add a little bit of Parmesan to it if you're on the Italian side, or cheddar if you want. But this is going to just simmer here for a little while, and then we're going to eat. Yum, yum.
That sounds delish. Absolutely delicious. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a little shift in your sloppy Joe Jane.
The only thing sloppy about it is it just pours it haphazardly on a bun. That's what makes it sloppy. You could just make it not sloppy and fit on the bun if you wanted.
Yeah, you could. And you could also put it on, like, if I was going to do this with kids, like that Sloppy Joe thing, I'd probably do like elbow macaroni or some kind of fun pasta to put it on. Yeah. Then
it's the sweetness. It's the sweetness of it that makes it so tangy and delicious.
Yeah, and that's why I added 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar, because if you were going to add ketchup, which is typical, that would be a sweeter thing. But this sort of mimicked ketchup, but I get to be in control of how much sugar is in the recipe this way.
And it's a little molassesy, a note of it. I love that. Yeah. Oh, man, that looks so yum.
Yes, it does. Yay. Well, I will definitely post a picture. Hey, let's just talk about this, people. The Democrats went up 10 points today in a poll.
Stay there.
Yeah. We did. And Joe Biden went up today. I definitely think things are looking up, but in order for them to look up, you have to get to work. And a lot of us are already working. So Common Cause has a bunch of, and Public Citizen does too, phone banks right now. To help people make sure that they're getting registered to vote and that they know when the midterm is and why they're voting in the midterm. So let's get going, people.
So important, because it's not like this is what I believe, and you tell me if you agree or not. But it's like, look, gas prices, stuff being expensive, inflation, whatever. That's really, we can deal with that. That it doesn't, anybody can deal with that. But Supreme Court justices and all these other things, the rules on
banning books. They're banning books, banning the way we treat our children.
Administrations and majorities have to have it. It's so important. I mean, we're a human right.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got to get to work, and it's okay. Lots of people are working, and it's super fun. So I hope to see somebody out here besides Kelly in some of these groups. And, Kelly's doing a good job too. She's out there working. We're all working, and we can, and we need everybody's hands on deck. Here we go.
You got to get people voting. And the other part is do it early of like who are the people in your district, and get to know them so that you know who you want to vote for. So it's not like
state people, they matter. They really matter. So, and your judges matter. So look into it. It's not hard to figure out. You just have to do a little reading and you're good.
Take a little time.
Remember reading?
Take a little time.
Yeah.
And if you're in a smoky area in the Southwest like we are, just be safe, be careful. It's so scary out there. And just thank you, firefighters. Like, God, these people are working so hard to contain these massive infernos. And it's just, try to get an electric car. We got to cut down the emissions. Okay, this is Doomsday episode. But you know what? It's true.
Yeah, it is. Get real, people. We got to do this. But we can. We definitely can. So
yeah, we can.
Come join me on a phone bank. You'll see me all over the place.
Yeah, or donate money to a great cause. Whatever you can do,
whatever you can do, it all matters.
And if you're not registered to vote, do it now.
Do it. And bring somebody with you.
Yeah, it's fun. You feel like, you're a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
Great to see you. See you next week.
Have a great weekend.